What is up, guys? So today we're going to talk about the Danny G epic meltdown and the Brett May sparring video that's been doing the rounds. He's been getting a little bit of heat from it, so yeah, I thought I'd give my opinion. My opinion means absolutely nothing. I'm just another knobhead on YouTube, just making videos about stuff. So yeah, Danny G. I didn't watch the entire video. I just caught parts of it, and it looks like he's a bit upset that he's not a millionaire, that he's not living in a mansion, and my mind's boggled too. I can't understand it. Why are you not living in a mansion? Why have you not blown up to KSI level proportions? I mean, you're doing everything right, smoking weed, sitting around in a dressing gown all day, doing a bit of vlogging. It's a mystery. But yeah, Danny G is... I can see why people would watch him to begin with, you know, because it is funny watching him rage and scream and shout and tell everyone how many noses he's bitten off. See, that is always a red flag for me when someone talks about fighting in the past and the first thing they mention is biting somebody's nose off. The alarm bells are ringing. I'm thinking, yeah, you're not telling the truth there, are you? Number one, because there's nothing good about biting someone's nose off, so that shows me where you're at if you think that that's cool. And number two, I've never seen anyone who's had the nose bitten off. I mean, have you seen anyone? I've seen people with their ears clipped, but I've never seen anyone with a nose missing. So yeah, and all these fights, what he's supposed to have had, I've never seen anybody actually witnessed it other than obviously his girlfriend and his mates. But outside of that circle, I've never seen any videos. I've never seen anyone confirm anything he says. So you know, it never happened. If there's nothing there to back it up, anyone can say stuff. I can say I've bitten 10 blokes' ears off and dominated all of them round town, but it's not the truth. And I know there'll be people out there saying, "Oh, will he beat you in a fight?" Yeah, he would, but I'm not the one pretending to be a Viking warrior from Valhalla, am I? I'm not the one claiming, you know, going mad, going, "Oh, I'll bite you." You know, I'm not doing all that stuff. That's the image he's portraying, but he's not. There's no evidence of it. So yeah, but all he does is vlog. You know, he just presses record on his phone and just vlogs himself walking around. And he thinks he should be a millionaire, thinks he should have loads of money and a big house. Just because every day you've got a hat on, it don't make you Ricky. You'll get that one later. But he does put out content every day. He does do different things, I suppose. But there's way more better vlogging channels out there. And it's not, to me, that's not creating content. If you're just pressing record and videoing yourself every day, you know, you're not saying out funny, you're not saying out creative, you're just going about your day and pressing record. And it is funny watching him rage for the first like 3 times, and then it just gets boring after that. And he's becoming a lolcow. People watch him, they don't watch him to see entertaining videos or interesting videos, or, you know, he's not motivating anyone, he's not inspiring anyone, he's just acting silly, and people tune in just to see what ridiculous thing he comes out with next, you know, just to see what stupid lie he says next. But yeah, I don't think he'll ever make it to the big time, because I mean, we've got enough weed smoking dossers. We don't need any more. And he says he's from Doncaster. I saw one of it, the first time I saw him, it was on, I think it was Atwoods, the first time I saw him. And he was talking about growing up in Doncaster with the prostitutes. And listen, I've grown up in Doncaster with the prostitutes. It's a hard life. You have to be hard to get through that. So, you know, I can respect that. But I'd never heard of Danny G. I know all the top names in Donny. I don't know them personally. I know of them. You know, I've heard the names, but I've never heard of his name until I saw him on Atwoods. So I think what it is, it's just smoke and mirrors in it. He's just trying to... I think he's rid this lie out for so long. And listen, I'm sure he can fight to a certain degree, but you hear him talking about Decker Heggie and Paul Venice and Danny Christie as though he's in that level. But I don't even think he's on the ladder, to be honest. But if you listen to him talking, he talks about making pro boxers quit, and and you know, he's on that, like, telling tales. I think he's just below Brian Cockrell. So, but yeah, I can see why some people find him interesting, but a lot of people are just watching him just to see what ridiculous things he does. And like I say, he's becoming a bit of a lolcow. And he did have a chance to prove himself, to show that he is this fighting tough guy when Reacher called him out, but he just kind of bottled that. So yeah, but that's the old Viking warrior from Smethwick. And then we've got Brett May and his sparring footage. Now, after seeing it, people are giving him stick, and I can't understand why. I mean, we know that Brett's not like... See, in the video, he didn't do that well. You know, he got hurt to the body a couple of times. I mean, did all right for a bit, and then you could see the guy started hurting him to the body. But that's what sparring's for. You know, he'll go away from that now, and you can say, right, well, I need to do some sit-ups, you know, because you do sparring to better yourself, to sharpen your skills, and that's why it's really important to be around people that you can trust, and you've not got people recording on the sly and putting it on YouTube to try and get a bit of a name for themselves. You know, you need to be around, and he was around good people until fucking Venice stuck his big old chin in there and ruined it. But yeah, I don't know why people are surprised. That was his first spar from getting out of prison. And we all know he's not Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson. He's a big brawler. He's a big violent lump. And that's how you have to be when you're in prison. He did a video talking about it, and it's right. If you live the life what he lives, like when I go to prison, I don't need to bulk up because I'm not a fighter. I don't need to fight anyone. If someone tells me that they're tougher than me, I'll agree with them. But Brett's not like that. He's a fighter. So in prison, when you bulk up, that's how you win prison fights. See, I made that mistake when I had a fight in prison. It was a kid from Rotherham, and we was arguing, and I pulled my arm back and said, "Shut up, you dickhead." I've done it 1,000 times. I was only messing around, but it escalated. And all his mates were saying, "Oh, you're going to let him do that?" And in 2 seconds, it was like, well, let's go in that cell over there. So I had to fucking go in the cell with him. I didn't want to, but every fucker was looking at me. So I was like, fuck's sake. And on the way to the cell, I'm thinking, right, I'm going to slip and move. Bosh, Black and Decker. I'm going to fucking pivot to the left. And then when we got in the cell, it's like a fucking... just tiny, you know, it's like a cupboard with a bed in it. So there's no room. So when you go to fight someone in a cell, you've got to be big and hench and strong, and that's how he was in prison. So he's just got it out. He had his first spar, and he did look a bit clumsy, you know, he didn't do that well. But that's the first spar. That's why you do sparring, to improve on things that you're not, you know, that you might be struggling with. And it's got like 3 months down the road. So he's got a chance to improve his cardio. And that's what makes this such a great fight, because we know Danny's the better boxer. We know Danny's technically better. But Brett's bigger, you know, he's like 5 stone heavier than him. So it's kind of like, you know, which way do you sway? Is it Danny with the better technical boxing ability? Or is it Brett who's bigger and stronger and is just going to be relentless and keep charging forward? Because if you look at the... Danny Christie, his last few fights, he's not all that good. You know, he's been getting dropped with jabs at a higher level, definitely. But you know, he's took some damage. And when you look at the fight with Decker, he was Decker's similar to Brett. You know, he was a big lump as well. And Danny was doing well in the early parts, but then Decker started getting to him. You know, later on, Danny ran out of steam from pushing him off all the time. And Decker was getting closer and closer, and then eventually he caught up with him, and Danny took a knee, and, you know, Decker was kind of starting to take over a bit. And just my opinion, and because I know all the little Danny Christie fanboys will be wanking all over the screen, but just my opinion that Decker started taking over in that fight, and if it had gone any further, I think he probably would have. But as always with Decker, just whenever he starts winning, put your hand down, it's a draw. But yeah, that's what's so intriguing about the fight. Who's going to win? Is it the smaller, better technical fighter, or the bigger, angrier lump who's like 5 stone heavier, you know? And that's why people are invested in the fight. That's why everybody's looking forward to it. And if Brett just does loads of cardio, does loads of sit-ups and gets himself in peak physical condition, and I've got to be honest, Danny is probably the favourite going into it, you know, because like I say, he's fought at a higher level, but anything can happen. You know, if Brett turns up the best version of himself, he might be able to walk him down, and that's why people are interested in it. So yeah, the whole sparring video, I mean, that's what you expect. It's his first spar back. He's a big lump. He's just tuning, getting ready. So 3 months down the line, he'll probably be a lot better. But yeah, that's my opinion on the whole thing. Again, it means absolutely nothing. It's just a bit of fun for YouTube. So yeah, if you like this video, press the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Fromage frei.